Hi, I'm Meg.
And I'm Megan.
And
this is Special Collections Roadshow. Where we'll be pulling artifacts from the archives
And sharing their stories with you. So what do we have here today?
So we have a few more of Lewis Tway's possessions here with us today. We have an ink bottle that he would have carried with him in his pack during the war, and also his diary. The diary is pretty interesting too because it's very small, very compact, and would have been easy for him to carry. It's made out of leather, so it's held up fairly well over the years.
Yeah, I can tell. What would he have been writing about?
So Lewis Tway's diary is not very descriptive. He doesn't really go into much detail about anything. Even when he's describing being in battle, he says, "Went into battle today and was drove back by the Rebs, who had 4 lines of battle to our 1. Colonel Miller was killed, Wallenbach, Joe Walker killed," and he kind of continues listing these various soldiers that were killed, but he doesn't really mention anything about how he feels about that. He doesn't go into much detail about it.
That's interesting. So in his diary, it's more of personal. How would that differ from maybe if he wrote a memoir or even his letters, which we have?
His letters are a lot more descriptive. He tends to be a little bit more in that Victorian tradition of being a little bit more descriptive, a little bit more attached to his, to what he's writing, to his subjects and things like that. So one of the things that's interesting in particular is the way he writes a letter to his sister shortly after he's been wounded in comparison to the way he writes about being wounded in his diary. His letter to his sister, when he describes being wounded, he says, "Well, I'm all right, excepting the Rebs gave me their compliments in the shape of a bullet through my thigh."
So why did he have an ink bottle?
It's kind of interesting that he has an ink bottle with him because not all of his diary is written in ink. Some of it's written in pencil, which was, fairly common for a lot of soldiers to do. But he also writes in ink. The letters that he writes to his sister, or the letter that we have that he's written to his sister, is in ink. But the diary is kind of a mixture of ink and of pencil. So that's pretty neat. You can see some of the ink at the end, on the end pages where he signs his name a number of times, whereas the pencil is a little bit more common throughout most of the diary.
So how much do you think this whole collection is worth?
Well, I think history is priceless.